active participant in this experience, and whatever way that makes you comfortable. So this is a warm, welcoming environment. So take advantage. Use the raise hand feature when you want to ask a question or be called upon. By doing this, this keeps you in the queue so that you don't lose your place in line when you want to ask your question. Brenda.
Love it. It's like every time he hits the post. You remember those terms in radio? It was when the DJs used to talk. This is in the pre-internet days, the pre-Spotify, pre-pandemic, when we used to listen to music on the radio, and the DJ would like vamp until the artist started like the lyrics, and then they would stop. It was called hitting the post. So Christopher always does a great job hitting the post on there. All right, so we're going to do some introductions. I apologize, but my order has shifted a little bit. But what I see in terms of raise hands, we're going to go in this order: Julia, then Kevin, then Dan, and then Lyle. If anyone else would like to introduce themselves, I want you to keep your introduction brief, and keep in mind this is public. You might get some additional visibility for yourself by doing so. All right, Julia, good morning. Welcome. Tell us about you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to meet you yesterday. I'm fresh-faced, as you would say.
There you go.
That's between you and me. I'm looking for a chief of staff role in a small to medium-sized company. I'm industry agnostic. My experience has been in family offices, but I would be open to any small or medium privately held company.
Wonderful. Thank you, Julia. All right, Kevin, you are up next, sir. Tell us about yourself. Kevin, you're muted. I wish I had my little "your lips are moving" sign. I don't have it in my hand right now, but Kevin, try again.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kevin Kane. I live in Wilton, Connecticut, and I am a senior project manager looking for a role within a product development company or department in the New York City metro area.
Wonderful. And what I loved about that is you said, I am a project manager. Regardless if you're working or not, you are your job title. I love that. You've owned the experience on there. So really great example there. Thank you, Kevin. All right, Dan, you're next. And you guys see, I'm going to start pulling in other folks in the queue here as we go. So Dan, go ahead. You're next up.
Good morning. I am Dan in Woodland Park, New Jersey. I am a licensed massage therapist for the last 19 years, looking to transition into environmental justice, climate change, working to combat climate change. And I'm also open to customer service in the interim, understanding that it's a hard process.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. Great introduction. All right. Next up is Lyle.
Hi, I'm Lyle Allen. I'm from Boston, and I'm a recruiter. I've got over 14 years of experience, as well as experience with training and putting together training presentations, marketing, social media management, you name it. And I'm happy to be here.
We are happy to have you. Welcome. Thank you. All right, Katerina, you are up next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Katerina Kentsevich. I'm based in Watertown, Massachusetts. I'm mortgage underwriter with expertise in portfolio lending, and I'm looking for a challenging position.
Wonderful. What was the job title you were looking for? I'm not sure if I heard it. I apologize.
Mortgage underwriting.
Mortgage underwriting. Perfect. Thank you so much, Katerina, and welcome. All right, Connie, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Connie Huntsman. I'm a human rights attorney. I've been working in corporate law, and I started my own nonprofit, the Trinity Human Rights Group, which is also on my LinkedIn page. We provided trainings for on combating human trafficking, and I've also provided pro bono legal support to human trafficking victims. I'm seeking a position where I'll get paid, where I can merge the two fields. And so I look forward to new opportunities. Thank you for holding this.
Wonderful. Thank you for speaking and for being so brave as to raise your hand. And I want to remind everyone too, this is something new I'm going to try. If you're just coming in, you're like, what's going on? I change the things up because I want you to come in and I don't want you to feel like been there, done that. We do the same things every meeting. And I always like to get out there and learn from other people. I'll admit I'm a little bit of an introvert. I am an introvert. I'm not just a little bit. I am an introvert at heart. And when people reach out to me and say, let's do a virtual coffee or let's get together in person and meet, and I've just met you, I'm like, the anxiety goes up in me. And I'm like, no. And same thing happens when I go into like a Zoom and the person facilitating the event is right away. They're saying, we're going to do some introductions and then we're going to put you in breakout rooms. I click leave like faster than I'm out of there. I'm just not a small talk networking. I used to do a lot more of that, but I don't as much anymore. So I try to get out to different groups And, you know, depending on where I'm at in my business, and I want to give this as a reminder to all of you, definitely you should be coming out here to the job seeker groups. Definitely you should. If you're in career transition, definitely be out there with the job seekers, but also get out there with the working people too. So whatever industry you're in, do a Google search for professional blank organizations. So for me, professional marketing organizations, find marketing groups to get out there. And the great thing, one of the great things I think about the pandemic is we've gotten really comfortable doing virtual Zooms and meetings and things like that. You can find groups from across the world to meet with that are in your chosen area. And by the way, when you network with people who are working, you're going to increase your chances, especially if those people are in your industry, you're going to increase your chances that you're going to hear about other opportunities in your industry. So yeah, hang out with the job seekers. We provide you moral support. We're going to answer your job search related questions. We're providing you a team to be a part of. Absolutely. All of those things, but get out there and network with people that are aligning with your personal goals as well. The speaker friend group that I belong to is because I love speaking and I love learning different speaking techniques. And I also love helping people and giving back. But this is a new thing I'm going to do in every meeting to get all of you to come out and be here right away as we start at 10 a.m. That way you get an opportunity for additional visibility. And we're only going to do this for about the first 5 minutes, and then we're going to kick off into our meeting. Okay. Did you guys like that? Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. You can do the manual thumbs up, or you can do the little Zoom. Okay. I liked it. I thought that was fun. So we're going to do this every week. I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. We'll do this every week, but try to be on in the first couple of minutes to do that. All right. The next thing we're going to do, let me give you a quick overview and welcome. By the way, if you are new, go into chat right now and type in the word new. I'm curious who is joining us for the very first time. And as I ask you to type this in, you might not feel like, I'm not happy to be here, Brenda, because I'm in career transition. I'm unemployed. I'm underemployed. A layoff is coming. I've got an end date, like whatever it is, the scenario that you might be like, I don't really want to be here. I get it. And I honestly, I'm going to be candid with you. I don't want to see you here. I want you back to work, but I do want to provide a place that you can come to every week where you can be in a good inspirational community, a very positive group, because when you are in career transition, I've been there myself. It's very isolating. And you're used to having a team that you belong to, a place that you go to every day. And then all of a sudden you're not. Like, what happens to the team? Like, right. And I want you to know this is a place you can come to. We do these every Friday. I call these Friday VIP job seeker office hours, and I want to break that down. It's every Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time. That's the time that works best for me. So that's why we do that. This is always live streamed on YouTube. So if you happen to be in the Pacific time zone and 7 a.m. is too early, you can watch the playback on YouTube later. By the way, I'm going to ask Julia, my intern, to drop the YouTube link into chat right now for today's broadcast, as well as the playlist. So if you want, you can listen to the playlist almost like a podcast and listen to those playbacks on there. So that's the Friday. VIP, you are a very important person. I want you to know that, my friend, regardless if you're working or not. When we heard Kevin's introduction, he said, I am a project manager. Yes, you are, Kevin. And all of you are your job titles, regardless if you're getting, if you're being employed and getting a paycheck for that or not. That's the experience that you have. They cannot take that from you. They can't take from you the passion that you have for your job, nor all of the knowledge and information you've got in your brain. That goes with you wherever you go. So you are your job title, regardless if you're getting paid for it yet or not. I want you to know that you are a very important person. And when I say VIP, I'm not just referring to people who are executives. We welcome individuals from all job titles and all levels within the group. We're going to have people that are mid-level, entry-level, senior level, experience rich. That's my favorite. Experience rich, age 50 plus. I don't like to say mature job seeker or mature worker, because you are experience rich, my friend. You have a lot of great experiences that you bring to organizations. And you're going to hear me talking a lot more about this in the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to be relaunching Boot Camp with Brenda coming up in June. And you're going to be hearing a little bit more about that program coming up. I've got some Boot Camp current members in the group here as well. But you'll be hearing me talk a little bit more about that in the future. So we've got Friday, VIP, job seeker office hours. And this is for job seekers, individuals who are in career transition, who are unemployed, underemployed, who have been laid off, who know a layoff is coming. You might be here. By the way, we've got a really great resource for all of you. It's called the Do This Now checklist. I'm going to ask Julia to drop that into chat. It's a really great resource that you can just kind of review and make sure that you've done all the things that you need to do as you are in career transition. It's especially helpful if a transition is coming up, it's on the horizon. You can look through that checklist before you leave the company. But even if you've already left the company, there are things in there to review. Things like file for unemployment. And I was just having a conversation with someone this week who was recently let go from his job. He said, I said, did you file for unemployment yet? And he said, no, but I've only been there for 3 months. And I'm not going to get that much from unemployment anyway. And I said, you know what? In unemployment, the way that it works, at least here in the US, you pay into the system. And when you are unemployed and you've been let go from a company, you haven't quit, because then that doesn't work. But if you have been let go from an organization, laid off, whatever, you are eligible for unemployment benefits that you have paid into. So get your money back. I want you to think about, like, put your pride on a shelf. And I don't know what it is right now. It used to be like $360 a week or something, but whatever it is that you get, that is your money that you are entitled to receive. So don't worry about it. Take the money. Anything that you can get is going to help to supplement your income until you get back to work. So things like that are covered in this Do This Now checklist, like file for unemployment. Nobody's going to tell you. They're not going to chase after you to do these things. You're on your own pretty much when you're in career transition. So we want to help you with that. Okay. Now on this call, I'm going to ask all of you to introduce yourselves. If you haven't already done so, I'm going to put the format for the introduction inside chat. I want you to tell us your targeted job title, your targeted geographic area, and then include your LinkedIn URL with the HTTPS. Please keep it brief. Now, you do not need to say, hi, this is Brenda Meller, because Zoom will already say Brenda Meller to everyone. So you can omit that part, but be very specific on what you're looking for. We don't need to hear your whole life story. And honestly, we're not going to read it. So make it short. Targeted job title, targeted geographic area, URL. As you're seeing folks dropping theirs into chat, please be sure to visit their profiles and invite them to connect and mention that you are in the Friday phone call. On that note, if you ever come across someone like me who, when you visit my profile, it will say follow instead of connect. I'm putting the instructions in chat right now, but what you'll need to do is click on the more button, and then you'll get an option that will say personalize invite or connect. And then you'll get the opportunity to add a note before you send out that note to invite them to connect with you. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to ask my all-stars to introduce themselves. I have a handful of individuals, and speaking of handful, could you raise your hand if you're an all-star? Use the little raise hand function inside Zoom if you could. That helps me to bring you up to the top of the chat, and it helps me to find you a little bit more easily than I can do sometimes. So we're going to go in this order. I'm going to have each of you introduce themselves. I'm going to start with Christopher, and then we're going to go Sue, Joey, Kenneth, and Diana is new joining us today. Was there one more person? I think that might have been it. So remember your order. Christopher, Sue, Joey, Kenneth, Diana, and then it will be back to me. All right, go ahead, Christopher.
Good morning. Christopher Johnson. The name of my company is Calm Clear Communications. I produce virtual events for speakers, trainers, coaches. Think meetings, webinars, conferences. I help those functions go off smoothly so that the presenter can focus on their message. They don't have to worry about the tech. It just works. I look forward to learning more how I can help and support you. Feel free to connect with a note. Sue.
Thanks, Christopher. I'm thrilled you're back. I'm Sue Griffey. I'm known as Sue Mentors, and look for my pom-poms. I'm the mentor with pom-poms to help celebrate all of our wins and progress here and everywhere else. I have a global mentoring practice with professionals in all kinds of transitions. And this meeting is one of the big highlights of my week that I try never to miss. So on to Joey.
Thank you, Sue. Good morning, all. I'm Joey Himmelfarb. I have been touting the concept that positive beats negative every day. To that end, I've written a book about it and how you can sell yourself in the job search and use the concepts of selling, which is what I've done for the last 25, 30 years. And happy to be here and participate and help you out. And if I hear you going down the negative road or talking bad things about yourself, I will chime in and smack you in the face and try to bring you back to your sanity. And as a fellow New Yorker, or as a New Yorker, I think that's my job. So anyway, happy to see you all, and I will turn it over to Ken.
Hi, you all. Kenneth Lang here. Actually just got back from vacation in Nashville and Memphis and had a blast there, a week of digital detox. Although from an introvert standpoint, it was maddening to get a hold to talk to all different people about different things. I look forward to working with everyone here. I focus on 45 and older job seekers, but I will work with anyone, anywhere I can. I'm currently at Lee Hecht Harrison as a brand manager. And you're all going to hear a lot of this from me now, because for the last week, I've heard a lot of that, and that's now part of my vernacular. So Kenneth Lang, great to be here. Diana, great to meet you for the first time.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm very happy to be here. I'm Diana Stevens. I'm in the Chicagoland area, and I am launching a new coaching practice based on my PhD dissertation, which is called The Mindful Approach to Job Search. I help individuals navigate through the emotional and the stress side of job search and help them put together a job search strategy plan, as well as techniques and calming techniques that they can incorporate into their life during the job search. I've been in that position many, many times. As a matter of fact, I'm in it right now. I've been through 6 downsizings in 15 years. I've been through a couple of different outplacements during those different downsizings. So I have a lot of experience in it, and I have landed, and life has gone on. So look forward to meeting everyone. And I put my introduction into the chat along with my LinkedIn profile. So please feel free to connect. Love to meet everybody.
All right. I think that worked out pretty well, don't you think? And we got all of our introductions. And by the way, for any of you who are thinking about working with a career coach or need some guidance or things like that, please reach out to our All-Stars. They donate their time so graciously to come here every week. And even like Christopher, he helps with virtual meetings and productions. If you ever hear of someone who needs some help with those things behind the scenes, please reach out to Christopher. By the way, if you're in Metro Detroit, he is the voice of TEDx Detroit. I don't know if you knew that. I always think that's the coolest thing that we have him on the call here. But let's jump in and get started. By the way, my name is Brenda Meller. I don't know if I introduced myself to those of you who are new. I help business professionals and job seekers get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. I love that Diana talked about how many career transitions and layoffs she's been through. I've been through 2 layoffs. And the first time it happened, afterwards, I was like, never again. I'm never going to go through that. And then it happened the second time. And I was like, okay, so it happens to people. I am glad that it happened to me in the way that it did, because I would not be here today if it didn't happen to me. And I found myself, the universe kind of pushed me forward, and I had some skill sets and things like that. But I also think it has fueled me, because I can pull from those experiences. Right now, I can even I can feel that the emotions that you go through when you're laid off, I can feel it. I can reach in my heart, and I can still feel some of the anger, some of the resentment, some of the feelings of unfairness. And, I can replay that. And then I push it back in there, because then I look at all of you and I think about all of the wonderful things I have been able to achieve having left corporate and being here with all of you. So I think it's important to let ourselves feel the feelings that we go through when we're in career transition. But I think it's also important not to dwell on them, because energy moves in one direction. That's one of my sayings. Energy moves in one direction. So you can either let the negative stuff pull you back, or you can focus on the positive and moving forward. And that's what we like to do in these phone calls. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open this up for your questions. And I also want to hear your success stories. If you have a question, I want you to type the word question in chat right now. And I'm just going to do a quick example. I'm going to say, do you like my new lights? Because I put some new lights in the background. I don't know if you can tell the little purple lights and stuff. I'm just demonstrating. So you're going to put the word question in all caps, and then I want you to type out the full question. In case we can't get to you in the live video, people will be able to help you inside chat, because you can see chat is like a party right now in here. That's one of the benefits of coming on Zoom and not just watching it in YouTube. But type in your question in chat, and then type in the word question, Dan, but then type in the full question as well. And after you do that, I want you to click on the raise hand, because that will let me know to call on you. Okay, so I'll look for that in chat, but I want you to type in the word question followed by the full question, and then raise your hand. If you have a success story, I just want you to put the word success and then click on the raise hand inside Zoom, and we'll call on you and share some of those success stories. So please do that now. And I want you to keep in mind that we like you to use chat as we're going throughout, but you can also just use the raise hand, and I'll call on you that way. By the way, I have a very special offer. Brad is joining us. Brad is an alumni of our group. Brad, do you mind if I put you on the spot right now and just have you say some brief words on what we're going to do here today?
Go right ahead.
So Brad reached out to me. Let me see if I can put both of us on the spotlight. I have to think if I can do this. Christopher's already got me. Oh, thank you, Christopher. All right. So Brad reached out to me. Brad, you were part of the VIP job seeker community for a while, and you've been back to work for how long now? Can you remind me?
6 months.
6 months. And Brad reached out to me this week and he said, in so many words, Brenda, I want to pay it forward and I want to help to support other job seekers and I want to make a donation to the group and you can decide what to do with it. And I thought that was awesome. So kind. And I want to encourage all of you. I always think about paying it forward. How can you help others? Whether it is, helping people to find a job or reaching back to this group and saying, how can I help job seekers in the group? So what I'm going to do is at the end of the call here today, I'm going to give away 2 copies of my book. Well, I should say it's a package. It's going to be, you get a copy of the book and a 30-minute LinkedIn coaching call with me. Okay. So that's as a thank you from Brad as a paying it forward. So I'll pull 2 names. You're going to get a copy of the book and a 30-minute call. If I pull your name and you already have a copy of the book, you can take the 30-minute call and I'll give the book to someone else. Okay. I'm fine with doing that. But I just wanted to say, Brad, thank you so much for being so gracious, for reaching out and for supporting others. Is there anything we can do for you, Brad?
At the moment, no. I mean, I just want to say that what led me to decide to do this is that I don't know how long I attended these sessions, but it was probably more than a year. And just the positive attitude that this group brought to things was so helpful in going through the challenges of finding that next position. And, it's kind of, I think all of you who are participating should find the same thing and work with one another to help one another, support one another. That's what this is all about. As Brenda said, this is your team right now, and be a supportive team of one another.
I love it. Well, thank you, Brad, for your kindness. I know you can't be on the whole phone call. I appreciate you just messaged me in chat. You're like, I'm only going to be on for a little bit. So thank you, because I would have forgotten. And now I've got the books ready to go. So we'll do that drawing at about 11 a.m. today. Thank you so much, Brad.
And one comment, Brenda?
Sure.
The purple light makes the books look purple instead of pink, though.
You know what? I've actually got a little dial on my thing that I can play with, like the color. Ooh, look at this. It's like way too fun, but yeah, it's kind of a cool little toy. Isn't it fun? All right. Thank you, Brad. Okay. We are going to get going here and we're going to do some questions. I see that Dan has his hand raised. So Dan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Good morning to you from New Jersey.
Good morning to you. What question do you have for us?
So I have noticed as I'm transitioning into the climate, I'm doing a lot of things. One of the things I'm doing is I'm posting a lot of articles. I'm posting a lot, and I'm getting 0 interactions with my posts.
Okay.
What am I doing wrong?
All right, Dan, I'm going to pull up your activity feed as we do a little bit of troubleshooting on this. How often are you posting right now, would you say?
Oh, every other day, once a week.
Okay. And how often are you engaging with others, going into the homepage feed, liking, commenting?
I'm sorry, say again? Oh, am I interacting with others? I'm just starting to, so here and there a little bit, but not a lot. I could be doing more.
Okay, so you definitely should be doing more. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be part of your homework assignment. LinkedIn, it works best when you're not just using it for yourself, but when you're also helping others and you're being a part of the community. So I like to think of engagement as a 2-sided coin. Part of it is you posting. You definitely need to do that. That helps to build up visibility. But the other part is engaging with others, because that gets you back into the homepage feed. And when they are engaging with your post, you are engaging with yours. You're going to start to see more of the right people on a regular basis. So engagement is part of it. Spend 15 minutes in the homepage feed, liking, reacting, commenting, and try to do like 8 or more words when you comment on other people's posts. Do that at least 2 to 3 times a day, especially if you see other job seekers or if you see people posting that they're looking for a job. And by the way, if you do see somebody posting that they're looking for a job, go into comments and just say, at Brenda Meller, tag me. At Brenda Meller may have some resources that can help you. And then I will go in and I'll post and I'll tell them about the Friday VIP group. That's a really easy thing. The second thing I'm seeing on your profile, Dan, is you have 416 connections. You're very close to getting to 500. And I want to encourage you to try to get to 500 connections as soon as you can. Once you get to 500, your profile will say 500 plus connections, and it's almost like a little badge of distinction from LinkedIn, like you've achieved, that minimum threshold that they're looking for to get to the 500 plus. Now, within the job seeker group, we have, I think, over 800 members. Let me just click on groups real quick, and I'm going to drop this link into chat. Yeah, we're at 841 members in here right now. If you visit this link on LinkedIn, and if it's your first time, you'll have to request to join. It's like a private unlisted group. So your request will be like you knocking on the door, and then I have to let you into the group. And I do that to make sure I'm only getting job seekers in the group that have been on the call. I'm keeping the wrong people out. I'm just letting you guys know. Okay. So when you go inside the group, you can see there are 841 members on here, Dan. And if I were you, I would spend a little bit of time going through the list of members, looking next to their name. If you see that it says second, like Daniel Austin is a second, then you want to invite them to connect and mention that you are both members of the job seeker group in here. That's an easy way to get to your 500. The other thing I want you to do, I'm going to open this in a new tab because I want to come back in a second here, is I want you to, I want to look at your activity feed, and I want to give you some specific pointers on your posts. So give me just a second here. What's this in your header image, by the way, Jan? I'm trying to figure this out. Is this like a PVC pipe or something?
Yeah, well, that's another question I have for maybe another day. I had it's a windmill. And
okay, I can't tell that it's a windmill. I'm sorry.
I know. And I with my tech, I just, that's the best I could have done. I don't know how to work it.
Okay. There is a tool that you can use called canva.com. It is a free website. It's like graphic design for dummies. And I'm going to drop this link into chat right now for Canva. If you go inside Canva, you have to set up a free account. And then if you type in LinkedIn header as an example, you're going to see they have a bunch of header templates that are available inside here. If you see a design that you like, you can pick one of theirs. But let's say, Dan, that you wanted to create a header with a windmill on it. Let me just show you how to do this. And I'm going to send this to you.
We're talking about that next week as well. I think I saw on your page, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
We're talking about Canva next week, I think.
Are we? Where did you see that?
On your page. There's like a 9 a.m. seminar or webinar or something.
I'm not sure if it's for me. Oh, on Tuesday, I have a friend I'm talking to about Canva.
Okay.
Yes, I think that might be what you're talking about. So I'm going to go under in Canva. I've got this template. And then you can type in the word windmills in the search bar here. I'm going to click on photos, and I can find images of windmills inside Canva. I'm going to find one that's not a pro because I pay for the pro account. I want to give you the free versions to show you what you can see. Okay. And then let's say, oh, these are all paid ones, aren't they? Did I click on the wrong filter? Oh, I didn't click on free. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. Let's say I like this one right here. I just click to drag it inside the block here. And I think you can even what do you do? Align to page, set image as background. That's what you do. And then that'll fill it into the whole square. And then you can use this image as your background image on here. Dan, do you like that one?
For now, I do. I have another photo, which I don't even know how to get to it. But I'll deal with that offline. I'm
going to send this to you through email so you have it, and just a quick demonstration of how to use Canva too. And you can use that temporarily while you're thinking of what to do if you want, optional. Okay, so let's look at your activity feed. I'm getting sidetracked here because I get super excited when I see quick things I can help you with. I'm going to go under posts. I see 2 days ago you shared this external link, no engagement at all. A couple of things to consider. LinkedIn prefers new original content and keeping people on the platform instead of sending them off of LinkedIn. So it's okay to share external articles, but if you do, definitely you want to give it some setup text and explain what the article is about and why people should read it. Maybe tag the publication or even the person who is the author in there as well. And then maybe put a couple hashtags, hashtag environment, hashtag Earth Day, hashtag green, hashtag zero emission. So that will help it to get a little bit of reach. Right now, it's almost like if we were at a restaurant, Dan, you and I, and we're looking at our menus, and the waiter, and we haven't ordered anything yet, and the waiter comes over and they put a plate of food in the middle of the table without telling us anything, and then they walk away. And we're like, did he put it on the wrong? Like, we don't know what to do with it because we weren't given any context. So if instead the waiter comes up and says, "Hi, Dan and Brenda, welcome back. Our chef is giving a new appetizer on the menu. It's a risotto stuffed mushroom. We'd love it if you could give it a try and tell us what you think. And I'll be back in just a few minutes to get your drink orders." And then they walk away. Now we understand why it was placed in front of us. And then we're both going to dig in and try one of those mushrooms because those sound delicious, right? So it's the same thing. If you're sharing an industry article, I want you to tell people this article talks about, or check out this article if you're interested in, like, tell people, give them some context, because otherwise I don't know why you put it in front of me and I'm just going to scroll on past it. I'll just be candid with you. Okay. This one says, once the slideshow opens, scroll down to continue to the end. I'll be honest with you. That sounds like way too much work for me. I'm not going to click on it. And then slide to the continue to the end. It just sounds like way too much work. What might work better is to say, if you're following the evolution of planet Earth and where we're having melting situations going on, you'll find this video of interest as well. I liked the slideshow video. At the end, they show X, Y, and Z. So tell them, like, I know you're trying to like tease it, but I'm busy and I've got a million things I'm reading on LinkedIn. I'm going to scroll on past it without engaging on that one.
Give a concise.
Yes, more concise on here. Right now you're talking about a lot of articles and things like that. The external links, again, there's more of a penalty that's associated with that. So I want you to start incorporating some comments, almost like think about if you're sharing it with one person, you wouldn't just say United States Sustainability Plan. You would say, hey, Brenda, check out this link for the United States Sustainability Plan if you're interested in climate change and where our government policies are focusing. Like, you would give me some context what it's about. Does that make sense to you, Dan?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share here. And I want to see if there's any other hands raised right now or any other questions or success stories. By the way, if you have your video on and you can't figure out how to use the hand raise, just wave your hand like I'm doing right now and I'll call on you. I see Catherine has a success story. Catherine Slowinski. Catherine, are you able to unmute yourself and tell us your success story?
Yeah, I've been on the group for a while. Thanks, Susan, for introducing me to the group. And so I've landed. I have the offer letter on the other monitor here. So just after the call, I'll be signing it. So I'm super excited and relieved.
So this is a job offer that you've accepted. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. Can you share with us any advice for fellow job seekers? How did you get this opportunity? Any lessons you learned that could help others that are also in career transition?
I think for me, what worked the best was a lot of the in-person meetings. So I really wanted to get into the startup. So I'm in sales and customer success. I've been doing it for 15 years around the world. And so I really wanted to get more into tech and startups. So I've been going to all the startup events. I've been living at the incubators and hubs and whatnot. And so they had a kind of job-ish fair. I say ish because it's partially for the businesses to promote themselves. And so it was one of the ladies at the booth. It's a chopstick company. And by chopsticks, I mean that they take chopsticks from restaurants and then they squish them, put them in an incubator to disinfect them. And then they make a whole bunch of tables and corporate swag and all that kind of stuff. So very sustainable and a feel-good type of company. They're installing their first tables in McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Chopleaf. I don't know if Chopleaf is in the US. And so I met her. It was funny because she's like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm not really a tech company, but I think you guys could help me. So I went to her booth and talked to her, and she's like, actually, we need some salespeople. So if you want to come by our micro factory, I can kind of show you the warehouse and how all this runs. And she's like, well, actually, we do need a salesperson. I'll funnel that up through the headquarters in Vancouver, and then they'll let you know if they're interested. And so for the last month or so, I've been in different interviews with different leadership and whatnot. So yes, so I think the in-person really helped to get that kind of backdoor help, I guess.
Yeah, that level up in your
introduction.
networking. Well, thank you for sharing that,
Yeah.
Catherine, and congratulations to you. It's always a delight to hear people. We're not going to be seeing you anymore, and that's a good thing. Our goal is to not see you on the calls to get you back to work. So congratulations and best wishes for you in your new role.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Okay, David Mills, I see you have a question. David, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes. So I'll come on camera too, I guess. I now have over 500 LinkedIn connections. So there's a pretty good stock of people. And some of them I connected with, years ago. I haven't really been in touch with on any regular basis. So, and if I want to get in touch with all those people, how can I find them if I don't remember even exactly what their name is?
Excellent question. Thank you for asking. So the question here is like, we have a lot of connections. How do I look them up? How do I find them? So I'm going to walk you through the steps. As I'm doing this, I'm going to remind you that this is recorded and it is on YouTube. I do talk fast and sometimes I go a little bit fast. I'm always like trying to get in the middle, like not too fast, but not too slow for those of you who know what I'm talking about here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the LinkedIn homepage and we're going to click in your top menu bar where you see home, my network, jobs, etc. You're going to click on my network. Okay. So I want you to think about your network contains your connections, also your invitations that are coming in, etc. So click on my network. In the left panel, you're going to see where it says manage my network. The very first option will say connections. So you're going to click on that and you're going to be able to now look through. Let's say if you do know their name, you can search by their name. If you don't know their name, you can click on search with filters. When you go into search with filters, let's say what I want to do is I want to look for people that are in Metro Detroit that are connected to me. So I'm going to type on the connections, the locations drop down, and I'm going to select Detroit metropolitan area. Now it takes my roughly 24,000 connections and it shows me there's 9,200 of them. Now let's say I want to filter this even further. I'm looking for people who work in marketing. I'm already in the search page. So I'm just going to type in the word marketing in the search bar in the top, and it's going to filter those 9,000 or so people down to 4,400. So now I can see people that are my first level connection in Metro Detroit that work in marketing. Okay. So couple different ways to get there, Dan or David, rather. You can certainly just go through the My Network, and then it's going to show you from the most recent connection to your oldest connection, and you can start to filter through all of that. One other thing I want to show you is you do have the ability through LinkedIn to export a copy of your connections list. And I'm going to show you how to do this right now, at least the beginning part of the process. It will export, and I believe the filters that will go, or the fields that will go, it's in like a CSV, which is like an Excel format. It'll have first name, last name, I believe job title and company, connected date, and then email address only if they have chosen to give you the ability to download it. Kenneth, does that sound right? Did I get the fields right? I know it's not like everything that's in there. First name, last name, isn't it job title? I don't know if company is a part of it. And connected date. What do you think? You're muted right now, Kenneth. I can see your lips are moving, but I can't see.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
No, you have it right. You have it right.
Okay.
I think the important thing to consider is that when recruiters do searches or anyone does searches, they're not going to see your whole profile. They're just going to see the very beginnings there. So it's an important consideration. You want to make sure that stands out as much as anything else.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how do you export a copy of your connections list, keeping in mind this will be recorded on YouTube so you can watch it later. We're going to start by in our top menu bar, home, my network, jobs, etc. You're going to click under your me icon. Under your me icon, you're going to go under settings and privacy. And then once this loads, I believe this is under, they moved it on us. Is it under data privacy now, Kenneth? Yeah, here it is, data privacy. And then how LinkedIn uses your data, manage your data and activity. You're going to see get a copy of your data. By the way, I highly recommend everyone does this like once a year. Do your download larger data archive once a year. Get all of your stuff. Because if you ever lose access to your LinkedIn account, you'll still have all of your historical information you can pull up from there. What I'm going to demonstrate right now, though, is the want something in particular. And then we're going to select connections. Okay, we're going to click on that. And then you'll see here, once I click on request archive, it's going to say your download will be available in about 10 minutes. So once I click on request archive, sometimes it will ask me for the password. I think I already did the 2-factor login this morning, so I'm not going to get that one. But you might be asked to put in your LinkedIn password, and then you'll get an email from LinkedIn in 10 minutes saying that you can access that list and download it as a CSV. So if I get it by the end of the phone call, David, I will show that process to you. But
Okay.
if I don't,
So
at least
when you click on the connections
Mhm.
in there, and so in 10 minutes, it's going to be available, then you can download it. You're going to get this just long list of names. Is it alphabetical at least?
Yeah,
or-
let me hold off on answering that for you until I can
Okay.
pull mine up at the end of the phone call, if you
All
don't
right.
mind, David, because I think it'll be easy, a little bit more easy to understand what I'm talking about if you can see the process as we go through there, if you don't mind. Thank you for asking that question, though. I'm sure there are others on the call like wondering the same thing. And sometimes on that same note, I'll get people asking the question, should I start purging my connections? Should I remove connections if there are people that I haven't heard of in a while? And I typically will say no. And you never know where the future may lead unless there's a compelling reason. And I'll be honest with you, I'm going to lean in this. When I left my corporate job, I disconnected from some people, and the people that I disconnected from were people I don't really ever want to do business with ever again. Like, I have no qualms about disconnecting from people that their values no longer align with mine. Or there was something that happened when I left the company that I'm like, I felt a little bit snubbed on that one. Right. And I've disconnected from them. I typically don't block people unless they have done something really offensive, inappropriate, men hitting on me, overly aggressive salesperson that doesn't take no for an answer. You know, I don't block them until that, but you can certainly disconnect from coworkers that you don't ever want to see. And you can block people as well. You can, if you block them, they will not be able to see you or your activity. You will not be able to see them or their activity. But it doesn't preclude them from going over another employee's shoulder and saying, can you look up Brenda Meller and see what she's posting about? So it's not like a 100% solution, but it at least provides a hurdle. So you're not making it easy for them to look you up. So just to keep that in mind. All right. Keeping on the positivity, I want to see if there are any other questions or success stories. Lisa Vitale-Hess and I met this week. Lisa, do you want to talk a little bit about what we did in our coaching session? I'm giving it as an option. If you want to, unmute yourself.
You're putting me on the spot. Is that it?
I am, but I'm giving you the option of saying, no, I don't want to talk about it. But
No, I would love to, actually.
Okay.
Because Brenda and I were on a call yesterday for an hour going over my profile. She gave me a bunch of homework, and I've been working on the homework. And the funny thing is that I worked until like 9 o'clock last night on my LinkedIn profile. Did everything that we talked about, rewrote some things. I feel great today. I still have to, so basically I changed some of my top 5, what was that called? What are they called? The top 5, yes, the top 5 skills and things like that. And I noticed that I actually went through every one of my job postings or the jobs that I've had and changed it all. And even on my college experience, it just basically, I think it just populated what I had listed somewhere. So I went and fixed all of that, got a couple more skill recommendations from people, followed up on some of the posts that I had made, tagging people that had not, you know, I did a couple of certificates and I went through a couple of those trainings and had not gotten responses from the people that I tagged that had actually put the training on. So I sent Brenda sent them an invite, making sure that we connect, and then asking them to comment so both of us can get a little bit more reach. So that was interesting and that helped. I also posted a new position, which it's not a new position, it's a volunteer position that I have that I've been doing for 27 years.
Yeah, right.
Long time. So I posted that and I've been getting so many people commenting back and sending me messages. And then I had sent, thank you for responding. And most of them thought it was a new position. So I let them know it was a volunteer position and then what I was looking for.
There you go.
A couple people responded back. One gentleman I spoke with, I think he's even in Michigan, which is where I am. We had a conversation yesterday. He looked at my resume and gave me some tips and hints, and he was excited to give me some information. I got some good feedback from him. So I've been
That's
dealing
awesome.
with a lot of really great people.
I want to break down just a couple things that we did yesterday, because I think this might help other people. And Lisa is currently working for Lowe's. She's got a great job. She's been there for many years, but she really wants to pursue her passion working in nonprofit. Volunteer management is what she's looking for in a paid role. So when we were doing the coaching, I said, well, are you doing any volunteering right now? And she said, yeah, I'm working at the Detroit Zoo as a volunteer. And I said, tell me about it. And she's like, well, I have a garden. I have a private garden I maintain. There's a little sign with her name on it. By the way, it's by the carousel. I'm going to go the next time I go to the zoo, I'm going to go and get a picture and, post it on LinkedIn. I'm so excited about this. But I said, when you're trying to break out of one industry and get into another, and this might help other people on the call too. Like maybe you came from one industry, you don't want to do that anymore. You want to do something else. Sometimes it's really hard to break in because you don't have experience yet. But Lisa has experience, and you may have recalled in previous phone calls, we've even asked, we've done a little bit of coaching. I said, do you have any, she was talking about fundraising, and she's like, but I haven't generated, I don't know, $20,000 or so yet. And I said, but I didn't ask you 20,000. I said, have you ever done any fundraising? And I said, I'm going to ask you again. And I want you to say, yes, I have done fundraising. And I want you to sound positive and stop answering the question once you've answered the question. And she did that. So when we were on the coaching call, I said, well, have you done any volunteering yet? And she says, yes, the Detroit Zoo. And I said, would you feel comfortable adding that to your profile? Yes. And there is a section on your profile that's called volunteering. And I think you added it in there as well. But when you put it in your experience section, and we added this as a new role. So we added it as a new role. It is experience. It's her donating her time. So it's pro bono experience, but it's still experience. And she is volunteering her time. She is supporting the Detroit Zoo, and she's using one of the things she loves, gardening. And as we were talking yesterday, I said, wouldn't it be great if this position gave you some added visibility to work in a volunteer management role that was related to gardening? Like that would be like the trifecta, because then you can pull the Lowe's experience, the volunteer, the nonprofit, I'm like all of those things together. So what we did is we went into her experience section, we added it as a new role, and then we put the start month as May of 2023. Even though she's been doing this for 25 years, we put May of 2023, because then what happens, and I don't know if you all saw this yesterday, but a notification went out saying, and I'm going to pull this up right now. And as you go through the process of adding it in, you have to click on notify your network. And then it gives you this post, and it says, I've started a new role at the Detroit Zoological. And we changed it a little bit. And it now says, I'm happy to share that I've added a new item to my LinkedIn experience, garden volunteer at Detroit Zoological. And she tagged me, because then when you tag me, it goes into my homepage feed, and I've got 60,000 or so followers. So I'm like, tag me, I'll help you out with this, wink, wink. Right. And I showed her how to do it, and it's helping me, because it's like, this is what I do. LinkedIn coaching. I help people get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. I help you get more visibility. And then when people comment on it, Lisa is doing her homework. She is replying back with 8 or more words. In addition to this going into the activity feed, it also went into notifications. And you all have probably seen this before. It might say something like, let me see if I can find one. So-and-so started a new job. And you can either comment on their timeline, or you can send them a message. Here's one, congratulate Josh. And if I click on say congrats, and I'm sure Lisa got a ton of these yesterday, and LinkedIn will give us the pre-populated, oops, I just lost it. Give me a second here. I toggled out of the wrong screen. Oh, sometimes when you go too fast, this happens. Give me 1 second. Is it this page? Is it this page? Okay. At any rate, people will message you, and they'll say, congratulations on your new role, like the templated thing that comes in there. And I told Lisa, I said, not for everyone, but for certain people, when they do this, I want you to message them back and say, thanks. It's actually a volunteer position I've been doing for 25 years, but I'm starting to look for nonprofit roles. If you hear of anything, let me know. So this is just another way that we're planting seeds across the LinkedIn network, helping to bring visibility. And in Lisa's case, we're doing a career pivot, and we're building upon the volunteer experience that she has to illustrate her passion and to kind of show that she has experience in there. So thank you, Lisa, for letting me put you on the spot, because I thought that was a really cool thing to do yesterday.
Yes, it was very cool. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Awesome. I appreciate you too. I'm excited to watch your continued success on the platform too. Someone asked about the LinkedIn group. I'm going to drop the link inside chat again, and I'm going to go into the group. And I want to remind all of you, if you're not already a part of the group, to please click to join the group. It is a private unlisted group. Private and unlisted means it's not going to show publicly on your profile. The only people who can see the group activity are people that are members of the group. Unlisted means it's not in the group directory, so you can't search for this on LinkedIn. The only way you're going to find it is if I've given you the link. And what I will do before admitting you in the group is I just do a once over in here and make sure there's no one who looks like they are not a job seeker, that they are targeting job seekers for selling or Primerica. No offense to anybody if you're in Primerica, but you know what I mean, right? Primerica or things like that, where I feel like they're preying on you. And then I'll just do a once over, and then I will approve you. And then you can come inside the group and you can start to connect with people. Sometimes when I accept, like Fiona, I'm not sure if you're in the group, but there's a good chance you are already a member of too many groups. You'll have to leave a group in order for me to admit you inside here. So if you are Fiona, if you're in the call here today, I can't admit you because it looks like you have too many groups. But then you can go inside the group here and you can, you'll see the first post. I try to do this once a month at the beginning of the month, and introduce yourself just like you do in the Zoom phone call. Introduce yourself inside the group. Keeping in mind, you don't have to put your LinkedIn URL because we can click on your name to visit your profile. But I'll do this once a month because we'll have new people coming in the group every month. And also it keeps that post to the top. Do read through these and actually look through and see if, and just like, you know, Lisa posted and Lisa Vitale posted, and Lisa Lemunyan said, hey, I know in Colorado, there's this network, Colorado Association of Nonprofits. Maybe there's something similar in Detroit. So help each other out and look through those in there. I believe the group limit is 50. Kenneth, is that right? Does that sound right to you? 50 as a limit on there? Okay. And sometimes they change the target. That's why I'm always like, is that right? Is that the right number or not? Someone asked the question, is there a way of stopping that notification of going out? Yes. So if you're referring to, you add a new job to your profile and you don't want to notify people. Yeah, there's absolutely a way of doing so. I'm going to demonstrate this on screen here real quick. I'm going to go down to my experience section. Sometimes I go too fast for LinkedIn, so I got to slow it down. All right, I'm going to click on plus, add position. What you're going to do is if you don't want the notification going out, see where it says notify network, turn this green button to off. Okay, and then it will not push out the notification. It will still be on your profile, but you're not going to get the notification going out to the homepage feed. The post won't go out. It won't go into the notification. So just turn that off if you do not want that going out. Thank you for that person for asking that question. If your volunteer role is more than a one-time thing, Sue, do you want to talk about this a little bit? Because I want people to hear from people other than me about this volunteering, but do you want to talk about the volunteering and the benefit of adding it to your experience section?
Sure. I think that people forget that volunteering, when you show up, and nothing wrong with one time going and doing a few hours of work on something, but when you show up regularly, and my old formula years ago when I was first asked about this was an hour a week or 2 to 4 hours a month. If you're showing up regularly for at least 3 months in a row, you're doing like paid work. You're showing up. You're helping the organization contribute to its goals by providing its help. You're helping your own progress move along to help them more because you're bringing a skill, gardening, strategic planning, being a carpenter, whatever it is. And that unpaid labor now, certainly during COVID, we've been able to see more and more the value that hiring managers are putting on understanding that you can have a volunteer role even if you haven't been in a paid job, that is keeping your skills up to date and where you're applying your experience. So my formula is if you've done a couple hours, an hour a week or once a month or whatever, go ahead and put it down if you've done it for at least 2 to 3 months, where you can show consistency, regularity, transfer of skills, being a team member, all those things. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. And related to that too, I want to remind all of you, if you are in career transition, think about, is there a local organization that could benefit from your expertise? For example, if you work in finance and you're in career transition, are there local nonprofits in your area that might have a board where they could benefit from somebody with finance experience, perhaps? That might be an example. Let's say you're trying to break out and get into a new role, and maybe you want to work in social media and you don't have any experience being paid for social media yet. Reach out to a local organization and say, can I help you with your Facebook page? Can I help you with your LinkedIn page? Like, reach out and volunteer your time, and then you can add that into your experience section. So now you can demonstrate that you've had some experience in those new areas. So it's a way of both keeping active and showing your visibility, and also gaining some of those new skill sets by volunteering your time and giving that out to others on there. Do any of the All-Stars want to add anything about that as we're talking about volunteering? I'll give you I don't see anybody raising their hand right now. I get kind of like excited about this because I think there's an opportunity for you to both showcase those experiences on your profile and also to keep busy. And the other thing is, I'm a big believer in the whole social media karma and just karma and giving back in general and working with communities. And I believe we all should be, as we're looking at achieving our own goals, we should always be reaching a hand back to helping others and using our talents, whether those are, what do they say, time, talent, and money, or time, gifts, and money, or something like that. I see Diana has her hand raised, and then Joey, and then Kristen. So we'll go in that order.
Hi, I was just going to say that another good way is to start a blog or and start imparting information when you have a subject matter expertise in another area, and get that going online. That's really how part of my business has started, and I'm managing that on the same train track as a similar parallel train track, I should say, as the job search. But I've noticed that there's a lot of people who have taken a hobby, taken a skill, taken knowledge bases that they have and turned it into a side hustle. And I think that during job search, that keeps you motivated positively, and you can keep going, especially where you have, you can be working in your other subject matter. And volunteering is also very good too, bringing that expertise to volunteer organizations. I know a number of people I've been through job search with who wound up on boards of organizations and got another good, very high level role, like at the VP level or higher in organizations from doing volunteer work. But those are two things that I would definitely stress, and especially the blogging and the online presence. There's a lot of people who are making some really good money off that. You'd be surprised. I know some people doing that with arts and crafts. They've made six-figure business in their retirement off teaching people how to knit.
That's amazing.
There's an audience for it out there. You never know till you try it.
That's right. That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Diana. Okay, Joey, we'll go to you next, and then Kristen.
Diana, that's a great lead in for what I wanted to say is that you don't know unless you try. And to Lisa volunteering and to Catherine's going to talk to these startups, you got to get out there, right? I was coaching the kids in soccer years ago. In fact, I still do it. There's no guarantee if you shoot, you score. No guarantee. I guarantee you don't shoot, you won't score. You got nothing to lose. You didn't have the job before you started, so you have nothing to lose. Go out there, network, and plant those seeds. And you know what? You're gonna raise your presence compared to everybody else who sits in front of a computer all day long, submitting their resumes to a black hole, and then wondering why no one's responding.
That's awesome. Thank you, Joey. And by the way, any mentions of the black hole, we're all supposed to go into chat and talk about how much we hate the black hole. So I'm going to type in, I hate the black hole right now. The black hole of job search is the endless applying to job upon job upon job. You're doing everything you should be doing. They say, upload your resume, upload your cover letter. Now answer this question. Now jump through the hoop. Now do a back bend. Now give us your blood type. Now it's like, seriously. And then you don't hear anything back. Sometimes you get a form email, sometimes like 6 months or 2 years later, they say the position has been filled. And you're like, what position? It's very soul crushing and energy sucking. I hate the black hole so much. And part of what I try to teach people is to get out there, to network, to use LinkedIn to grow your network so you get some of that power and control back. So anytime we hear about the black hole, I like to let's get the negative energy out, go into chat and say you hate the black hole, because it's really a terrible thing.
Brenda,
Joey?
you're sparking an idea. I wonder if, because it's Fridays and because the sun is out, maybe we should do a shot every time the black hole gets mentioned. I don't know.
Well, I've heard there are certain things you should not talk about in networking groups, religion, sex, politics, alcohol, and food sometimes too, because
Shot of coffee.
Coffee. I mean, there may be people who've struggled with alcoholism in the past, and I want to be respectful of that, especially on holidays like Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day. Like, sometimes you don't need that additional focus. And I'm drinking water, by the way, this morning, and there's nothing wrong with a cool glass of water either.
Me too.
There you go. Cheers to you, my friend. Yeah. All right. But thank you for that. And I want to see if Kristen has something new to add to the conversation, or did you have a question or a comment for us?
No, I do. So on the topic of volunteering, there's an organization called Catch a Fire, which is skill-based volunteering. They have gigs, and they're skill-based gigs, and they're virtual. And you can go in for a project of 1 hour, or you can have longer term gigs. So highly recommend it. As someone said, it does kind of boost your, I think it was Diana, it makes you feel better, especially if you've been out of work for some time. It really helps to keep your skills fresh, and it also helps you to build skills. So that's an opportunity. Also, if there's local chapters within your profession. So for example, I'm on the marketing committee of New York HR Planning Society. We're changing our name soon, but I'm on the marketing committee. So we're kind of rebranding ourselves. So it's another way to try to, leverage skills while you're looking for your next, role, and also to be able to network. So, I just want to build on all of that stuff. And then, grassroots, to Diana's point, you can always create your own. So I just, I can't tell you enough how it helped me in my job search, boost my ego, get out of that funk, because the black hole is a real thing and it makes you feel bad. So it really helps you get up, get that routine going, and feel better. So
yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Kristen, for that. Really appreciate you sharing that with us. And yeah, there's so many, I'm seeing in chat in here, so many people have ideas on, like, ask around. If you're on Facebook, go on Facebook and ask people that are in your friends network, of organizations that might be looking for help or volunteers, and let them know, especially in the areas of, and then whatever field you're looking to work in, whether it's nonprofit management or finance or marketing, let people know that. I think that's important. We're going to do one question. Then we're going to do the prize drawing for folks that get the free copy of the book plus the coaching session. And then we're going to wrap up. So we're going to go a couple minutes over 11. I hope you all don't mind. But here's what we're going to do first, though. The question I saw from Rob was, how do I get those top 5 skills to my profile? And I'm going to show mine first. So in your about section, they now give us the ability to add up to 5 skills in here. Now I'm a LinkedIn trainer coach, so I'm like going to always push the limits of what the field will allow me to do. And I've created my own skills. I'm not using just marketing and social media. I've created my own, but you can add up to 5 skills. And if you don't have those, what I want you to do is go to your about section. You're going to click on the little gray pencil icon in the upper right-hand corner. And then underneath that big paragraph block, you will see it now says skills. And if you don't have anything in here, it will give you the ability to upload 5 skills inside here. Mine already have the maximum, so I can't do anything. But if I were to click off of one of these, then I could click on add skill. And if I type in, something that's already on my profile, LinkedIn is going to pre-populate it at the bottom on here. So let's say I click on this one, it adds it, and then you click on save. As soon as you save, you're going to now get the little glittery stars with the words top skills next to it. And those will be at your about section at the top of your profile. Hopefully that helps all of you out.
Yep.
All right,
it, Brenda. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And Rob, were you on John Madigan's call yesterday too?
I was not.
Okay. I'm remembering. Was Kristen, were you there yesterday? I feel like there's a couple new names. And by the way, Kristen, would you be so kind as to tell us about that call? Because I think it's another great resource for job seekers. I was just on as a speaker yesterday, not a speaker, but can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. It's fabulous. I've been on it as a consultant, and I've been on it for about a year and a half now. And it's the executive roundtable. It's comprised of professionals in all industries across the country, in the US primarily. I don't think there's anyone outside of the US. And it's a networking group. It's pretty well structured, where folks introduce themselves. We bring in different speakers such as Brenda on all different topics. And we do book reviews, and folks help each other out on different areas of job search, networking, landing, etc., interviewing skills. So highly recommended. And if anyone's interested, please do feel free to connect with me. And I'm more than happy to introduce you to John Madigan.
All right. Thank you for that, Kristen. I appreciate it. I'm like looking at another name and saying your name. I'm like, did I say the right name? Yeah, it is Kristen. And it's free too.
I'm impressed.
It's free, isn't it? A free group that you can come out
It is
to?
a free group.
Yeah.
It is.
I love that. And it was a great
Me
group
too.
yesterday.
And
All right.
Brenda, this is Rob again. I just updated my profile with the skills. Thank you for
Yay.
that quick explanation. It helped. Thanks.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Rob. That's awesome that we get people like hands-on doing the things in here. All right, so we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do the wheel of names drawing, and Julia, my intern, was so kind. She went through the RSVP list. So if you've RSVP'd, you're in the wheel. You can see there's a lot of people that RSVP for the call. We might be pulling a couple names before I get somebody who's on the call, and that's okay. We'll do that in a second. Before we do that, though, when we were demonstrating earlier about the data archive, I just want to show you here. This is the email you'll get from LinkedIn. It says your LinkedIn data archive is ready. When you click on download your data, it pops you back over to LinkedIn, where you then click on download archive. And then from there, then you open up the CSV, which, by the way, is just like an Excel file. And this is what is inside here. So the fields include first name, last name. Email address is only if they have opted in to provide it in the download. And not a lot of people do that anymore because people are adding you to email lists without permission. So they're not doing that as much, but it will show the name of the company for their top employer, or the current employer in their experience section, their job title that's associated with that employer, and then the date that you connected with them. What I like about this is now I can go through, and this is in Excel. So now I can, even add in additional columns in here. And maybe I make a column that says follow up, and I go through and I note down, like, here are the people I want to like follow up with. And then I can like sort them and look them back up on LinkedIn later. So a really great feature if you've not already downloaded your data on LinkedIn. Let me just cancel out of here for now, because I am going to save this on my desktop in a little bit, but I don't want to do that right now. All right, we're going to do this right now. We are going to use Wheel of Names to give away. Thank you to our very good friend, Brad, for paying it forward. He is gifted, and I'm going to do a book with a 30-minute session. So it'll be a 30-minute Zoom LinkedIn coaching session with me. If I pull your name and you already have a copy of the book, you can say, I already have the book, and I'll give the book to someone else, but you can get the 30-minute session. Does that sound okay to everyone? Must be present to win. So if I call your name in this drawing and you're not on, your book and coaching is going to go to someone else, and someone else is going to get that instead. Okay. So must be present to win. So we're going to go ahead and click on this now. And same thing, if I call your name and you already have the coaching session and you want me to give it to someone else and you're good, like, just let me know, give it to someone else, and I'll do that as well. But you do get the package, which includes a book plus a 30-minute call when I call your name. All right, I'm going to click it on, and I hold at my elbow so you can see I'm not like cheating and clicking the keyboard and picking somebody. I can't even read this anyways. I don't think I could cheat, even if I wanted. Let's see if this person is on the call. David Michaels. Is David Michaels in on the call? I don't know if David is here. I'm going to do a quick search for David. I see David Mills, but I don't see David Michaels. So we're going to remove him. And it might take a couple minutes for us to get to someone, because I think this is like Julia, is this the full list, including everyone of all time? I think it probably is.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so it might take us a minute. Zamari, I'm not sure how to say her name on here. Julia, could you help me by looking up as I'm pulling the names and looking to see if they're on? I don't see her in here.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm going to do
she's
this
not.
again. Ooh, the wheel got a little jiggy for a second. It was like, hold on, I'm getting stuck. This will be fun when we actually get to someone's name who's on the call here too. All right, Chris Marshall. Is Chris on the call? Chris is not. I'm able to do a quick name lookup too. I'm looking in the chat just to see if the name is in here, and I've got it populated now. So that should hopefully make this a little bit faster. Mary. Oh, no. And if you guys see these people, let them know that we pulled their name, but they weren't on, so they don't get the prize. No, don't tell them that. They'll be mad. I don't know. Maybe it'd be funny. Be like, oh, Mary, they called your name and you weren't on.
Mary's always on the.
What is you? All right. I lost my name thing. Is Janelle on the call? Janelle? Nope. Okay. The other way is I could have like rebuilt the chat with the 40 names, but now we're down to 39. But this is kind of fun. You know, we'll see how long we go here before we get a name on here. Janae, I don't believe I saw that person on here. We'll remove that one. I'm trying to think of a better way of doing this on the call so we're not pulling the full list, but we're making sure it's people that are included. And I wish there was a way we can get the attendees. Stuart, I know Stuart's not on today, but if you guys know Stuart, you can tell him hi. He'll appreciate that we gave him a shout out on the call here today. The names are almost starting to get legible now, which is a fun thing. Marianne, no, this is going to be like, you know, like when they do the lotto and or when you're playing bingo at the church picnics and stuff, and you finally get a bingo and everybody's like, ah, like, cause you wanted to win, you know, and somebody else got the big bingo prize. David Mills. Oh my goodness, sir. All right. David Mills, you get a autographed copy of the book in the 30-minute session. Do you accept both? David Mills, is he still on? He didn't drop off.
I'm here.
Okay, David, do you want the book and the 30-minute session? Do you already have the book?
I don't have either, no.
All right, would you like to accept both?
Sure.
All right, wonderful. Julia, if you could reach out to David and get his mailing address and send it to me, I would appreciate it. There we go. All right, so we got book number 1. I put David Mills' name on it. That'll be coming in the mail to you, sir. An autographed copy of the book will be coming out to you. All right, we got one more person. And let's see here. Might take another couple minutes for the second person. Let's see here. Kathleen, is Kathleen on the call? I see some Katie's, but I don't see a Kathleen. So we're going to remove her. We're going to click it again. David, how cool was that though? After like 10 names that we pulled you, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kristen, yay, Kristen. All right, Kristen, is she still on? She didn't leave, did she? Kristen? Are you here? All right, Kristen, you've won a copy of the book and the 30-minute phone call. Do you already have the book or no?
I don't.
Would you like to accept both?
I would love it.
Okay, thank you so much, Kristen. I'm writing your name on here. I keep saying Garrity because I know a guy, Chris Garrity, but is it Geaney? Is that how you pronounce it?
Gainey.
Gainey. Thank you very much. All right. So congratulations. I'm just going to hold up to show you. It says your name. I put your little name on the Post-it note on here.
Will I write my email in chat?
I'm going to have Julia reach out to both of you, and then she will send the mailing addresses to me if that would be okay with everyone. All right, guys. Let me just pull you back up real quick here. And I want to say thank you to all of you for making this a part of your Friday. Thank you especially to the VIP All-Stars for helping with Q&A and for helping in the background. And thank you to Kristen, Andrew, Julia, Akan Nawando, Al, Angela, Dan B, Dana, David, Diana, Esmeralda, Fiona, Jeff, Joey, Joyce, Karen, Katerina, Katie, Kelly, Kevin, nice to see you again, Christine, Lisa B, Lisa V, Nancy in the house, Phyllis, Rob, Scott B, Scott V, Sherry, nice to see you. I know you're driving. Let's see, Tina, Via, Vic the Pie Man, Whack, and Wendy. I look forward to seeing all of you guys again next Friday. Reminder, this is temporary. You will get it back to work someday. And until then, we will be here for you every Friday, my friend. Okay. Have a wonderful